What's the crack, lads? Welcome back, and today we are going to be talking about the free epic that you guys can get. This is my suggestion of who to sign, but we'll talk about a couple of options that you can go through here. So of course you get this free card or this free epic by completing the objectives. So all you have to do is complete all of these, beat the AI, beat a couple of the objectives online, and have logged in for the last couple of days as well. Now I have already signed one of the players in here, and I'm going to show you who I signed, but we're going to show you builds for all of the cards and talk through a couple of the cards here. So there's 8 players in total. You've got Batistuta, Michael Owen, and Bergkamp, who it's going to be kind of listed around as the most. I've already signed it Nakata, spoiler alert. I'm going to show you his build. We already had Batistuta and Michael Owen, so I'm going to show you the 3 of those. I actually got Michael Owen in one of my free spins along the way with opening up the other box that you have here. So we did get Michael Owen in this box here, but there was only 20 players left, which wasn't too bad. Obviously, Michael Owen is a beast in the game. But we're going to start with Van Buyten. A lot of people have been asking me about Van Buyten. I'm actually going to hide my webcam here for a sec. Van Buyten with his booster. I'm going to show you the best build for him as well, because Van Buyten is definitely the type of card. I think that if you're looking at a card like Van Buyten, it's all about how you build him, right? So we're going to head over to eFootball DB, and I'm going to show you his stats here and his build. So the build that we've gone for here is a 3 into dexterity, 8 into lower body, 8 into aerial strength, 12 into defending, and 1 into goalkeeper. Now, we've already given him the defending booster here, and we're giving him, obviously, the booster with Xabi Alonso. So this is going to be a build for Xabi Alonso, a manager that a lot of people are still using. Most people are still using quick counter, long ball counter, so it stands to reason. However, this is what's kind of interesting about this Van Buyten when you look at his stats here. 91 heading, 95 awareness, 97 tackling, 90 aggression, and 95 defensive engagement with 80 speed and 80 acceleration. 94 physical contact and 96 jump. It's an unbelievable card. People will ask, is he as good as Tony Adams? I definitely think he is. I think that he's definitely a card that's, it's very, very difficult to shake him off, right? We also have Massimo Otto. Now, the big thing about Otto is that he's an offensive fullback with edged crossing. That's the big selling point of this card, and people are saying, yeah, he's good, but I think you are shoehorning yourself in for the free spins when you are going for one of these. I definitely think that Otto, he's a good card, but his player ID is not too bad either, but it's not great either. I think as an attacking fullback, he has a couple of weaknesses, right? Now, we'll show you the build, okay? I'll go through this rather quickly because there is a few players to get through. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. The best thing about Otto is that he's very simple to build. Now, we've given him, with this booster already that he has, we've given him ball carrying, and that's going to boost up his speed and his acceleration to those thresholds while still having 80 balance. We do miss out on having 85 offensive awareness, but we do have 85 defensive awareness, which is probably better for this card, and that is the build. 9, 3, 8, 10, 4, 8, starting with passing and ending with defending. Very solid card. Of course, if you don't really want to use him as a defensive option, you could keep his aggression at 80 and let the rest of the stats lie as they are there, and you could simply put this into dribbling and dexterity, and that's the secondary build for him there if you want to go for him, right? Now, Christian Abbiati as a goalkeeper, people have said that he's a really good free option, and he is. I mean, he is a really good free option. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I have no issue in saying that. Obviously, his booster here is going to be goalkeeping. It's very, very easy to build the goalkeepers in the game. He already has goalkeeping there, so you're just giving him an extra +1 stat on all of these. Very simple build. 4 into aerial, 10 into goalkeeper 1. Goalkeeper 2 is 8, and goalkeeper 3 is 10. And that's the stats. 95, 91, 93, 91, 90, and 85 jump. Is he going to be better than upcoming Peter Schmeichel? No, he's not. He's not going to be better than upcoming Peter Schmeichel. Of course not. But I definitely think that he's as good as any of the free options on the game at the moment. And then also I want to talk about Ludovic Gulli. Now, of these recommendations here, I don't really recommend anybody on the back or on the bottom list here, or the bottom players, apart from Van Buyten. Van Buyten is a beast. He is a beast. I already had Van Buyten in my squad already. I had him, and I'll show you the version I have it in when we go to game plan in a second. That's why I didn't splurge out for Van Buyten. But my choice was made very easy because I already had Batistuta as well. I don't think, if you're looking for the top choice, I think Michael Owen is probably him. Unless you have Romario, Saviola, all those. Gulli and Otto are not at the races unless you're spamming them. Unless you're using them for a one-trick kind of pony style. Abbiati's just an average goalkeeper when you compare him to the best goalkeepers. But he's still a beast as a free option if you're a free card or a free player. Ghoulie, as we said here, this is his build. I'll go through this very, very quickly. His stats are really nice, but I've actually played with him in a bit of co-op, and he doesn't handle as well as some of the other players. There's his stats: 0 shooting, 9 passing, 7 dribbling and dex, and 11 into lower body. Very easy card to build. These are his stats that you can see here: 90 speed, 99 acceleration, and of course 95 balance as well, which is pretty decent. And of course we do have his Striker's Instinct as his booster, but again, not a card that really does excite me. And then Dennis Bergkamp, which is here with his booster Agility, and we're going to get that speed to 83, kicking power to 84. We've got one more into shooting if we want. This is probably the most mid card. I mean, especially he doesn't really fit in anywhere. He has good balance, tight possession, and acceleration, but the rest of the card is quite mid. Now, it's still Dennis Bergkamp though, and he is a beast, but yeah, he's probably the weakest of them in my opinion. So moving on to the three boys, right? We're actually going to switch over here to my game plan. So my top choice was Nakata, right? As an attacking midfielder. Now, I have an embarrassment of riches at midfield, especially attacking midfield for this formation that I'm playing. And this is just a random booster that we've given him as well. I wouldn't recommend Agility, but if you don't have that much booster crafting, like I don't at the moment, I just give him a random one. Speed 91, acceleration 91, kicking power 90, physical contact over 80, which is nice and unique, balance 91, stamina 90, and then everything else perfectly balanced, right? Finishing at 84, that's the booster I would probably give him to get that finishing up. And then also maybe get his curl up as well. So I would probably go for, you know, that booster instead of the agility booster to round this guy off. But I don't have enough contracts at the moment. So I probably would go for that one, which is it the Striker's Instinct or is it the... I think it's the shooting, or is it? No, it's the free kick taken. That's the one I'd go with. Finishing and curl to get it to 85. Very solid card. Really nice base stats as well from the rip. Super sub, fighting spirit. One touch pass, first time shot. And double touch. You can give him soul control and flip flap if you want. He just needs low lofted pass. That's all this guy really needs, which is quite a decent card. That is my top pick if you're looking for a more purist type of card. Obviously, Michael Owen and Batistuta need no introduction at all. Batistuta, right? This is the build that we've gone for him. Now, you can have a Batistuta with 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 95 kicking power, jumping, physical contact, finishing, heading, and attacking awareness all over 90, while still having mid-80s in his ball control, dribbling, and tight possession. I definitely don't think you'll regret going for Batty. I think he's a really, really good player. His weak foot accuracy only being high instead of very high is a bit of an issue with him, but it's not a deal breaker. And he does have phenomenal finishing as well. The problem is, when you're comparing these cards, like the likes of Batty here, right? And you're comparing him to the big boys. If you are playing the game regularly and you've spun a bit, if you're free to play, it's always going to be interesting cards, you know, to get free. But that's how he compares to other cards. I do like Batty. He's just slightly clunkier than the likes of Rummy or obviously Otto or any of those boys if you have those. And then last but not least, we have Michael Owen. There is no real difference between choosing one of the three of these. I really don't like... Michael Owen is a pick that you can literally just, you know, sign Michael Owen and forget about it. You'll never need to think whether you made the right or wrong decision, even if you don't play him that much, because he's definitely one of the best super subs in the game. He's outstanding. He's got heading as a player skill, acrobatic finishing. You can throw aerial superiority on him, and a lot of his animations will click in. He 100% does need, I would say, he does need one touch pass to turn him into a really, really, really good beast. But we've played 6 matches with him, scored 2 goals, and they were 2 winning goals in the last minute that we brought him on, or last couple of minutes. Very, very solid card. There's nothing to really dislike about this card. It's probably the safest pick that you're not going to regret, him or Batty. Nakata is more of a purist type of player, I would say. This is the build 10-2-9-9-8-0-0-0. We also have the build for Nakata, if I didn't go through that, which is very, very simply 7-7-7-9-10-3. And then for Batty, we have this build here, which is 6-0-6-10-8-7. And 4 into goalkeeper 1 to get that jumping up. We can put it into aerial as well if you want to, but I prefer that. So that is it, lads. That is it for the freebies that you're going to be getting. As I said, it's very, very simple to get these. It's just a matter of when, not if. And that is it. I definitely think that you can continue to open these. I like that Konami have done this. But yeah, they're my top picks. Let me know who you went for, and we will see you in the next video. Peace. If you want some gameplay with these and like an in-depth review and a bit more information, check out today's stream, which is dated the 22nd of May, or else I will do a dedicated video on Nakata, Batistuta, and Michael Owen. Nakata's movement in the game is brilliant. Like, it's really good. Michael Owen and Batistuta up front together are really good as well, but I just think that Nakata is more of a kind of possession-based player. The gameplay is going to always be a little metafied. So Michael Owen is the easy choice, I would say. But I did go for Nakata. So yeah, we were just lucky with others. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you in a bit. And let me know if you want some gameplay footage as well of these. Peace.